I have decided to create a dividend portfolio for myself. Now, before you ask me how old am I and isn't this kind of too young for me to start planning for retirement, don't worry, the goal of this portfolio is not to provide for my retirement. That's what pension funds are. The goal of this portfolio is to provide me with a second salary. And this is something I've been contemplating for a while, and today I'm kind of want to show you the thinking process behind that, the criteria for picking things in my portfolio, how I was able to achieve around 12% yield in this portfolio, and how I'm basically receiving 1% of my portfolio in dividends every single month, like a salary. Hello and welcome to the Market Monkeys channel. My name is Vadim, and today we're talking about, well, creating a second salary. When you see all these videos, by the way, about the passive income, this is truly passive income. You build it once, you put money there, and you just forget it. This was at least my goal. So the idea why I wanted to switch was as follows. How do you invest in stocks? Like usually you have a portfolio where you either pick an individual positions or you pick some ETFs, you buy a bunch of stocks and then you kind of do nothing. You sit and pray for the market to go up, for it not to go down, for your undervalued stocks which you bought and kind of saw a huge potential in them to be recognized by the overall market as such as stocks, and for your short positions to be discovered as this huge fraud and for value of them to go down. I have decided that I want to go a different route. I have decided that I want my money to really work for me. I do not want to hope for anything to happen with the market. I want to sleep soundly at night. I don't want to check my brokerage accounts every single day, kind of seeing why this thing right now dropped 5% or why it rallied 5%. I just want to know that every single month I'm getting pretty nice cash on my balance. So what I try to find is as follows. First of all, something that pays consistently. I don't want these ups and downs. I want stocks or ETFs or whatever financial instruments which are paying all the time. Second of all, I want consistency even if there is a crisis and everything is really going bad. So I want to see the performance of these financial instruments over 2008, 2020, when market has crashed. I want my investments to continue paying out the same amount and not dropping it, or if they do drop it, not to drop it by a lot, because I'm kind of want to see the same amount of money or growing every single month. The third thing, I want to be paid every single month. Like in US, I think you're getting paid like once a week or once every 2 weeks, but in Europe, you're getting paid every single month, and I want my payments every single month. I do not want like quarterly, semi-annual or annual dividends or some special dividends, whatever the company feels like it. No, I want to be paid on the same date every single month. Third thing, I want a bulletproof portfolio. So I want a really quality stuff because I want to be able to just forget about it for if I'm going for a vacation, for example, for a month. I do not want to babysit my positions. And we have talked about stocks on this channel where you really need to babysit them because some acquisition might go wrong, because something in news might go wrong, because the macro situation might change and your whole investment thesis can go wrong, and then you need to get rid of the position or to hedge against it or whatever. I don't want any of it. I want to just forget it. And I think Buffett always tells about never selling the stock. So when he getting asked, when are you planning to sell your position, and he says hopefully never. Well, I want to pick my positions that I hopefully will never have to sell it again, because they are providing me with money every single month. And lastly, I do not want these 3% yields, 4% yields, dividend aristocrats, Coca-Cola's, Procter & Gamble's, PepsiCo's of the world, which are paying like 100 years dividends but with 3%, and the rest is capital appreciation. I do not want any capital appreciation. I don't want to go and check the value of my position. I want to see cash every single month, and hopefully when I'm reinvesting, I want to see this cash growing. So I'm looking for positions which bring me around 10, 11, 12% yield every single year. So I have a lot of them. I have a full portfolio of these positions. Of course, I'm not investing in like one or two. Currently, my portfolio has 10 different positions. On average, it yields around 12% every single year. And I'm going to add and expand my portfolio to have something like 15 different positions. Hopefully by the end of this whole process of building, I will have something like 20. 20 seems like the amount of positions where I can actually go and track all of them and kind of know what is going on. So in this video, I wanted to share with you 4 of the stocks that I've bought, hopefully to give you some ideas. Maybe you will be interested in having a passive account and having 1% yield every single month in your account too. So first position is pretty obvious, is JEPQ. JEPQ is JP Morgan Premium Income ETF, yield around 11%, pays monthly. It kind of covers loosely Nasdaq 100. It picks stocks from Nasdaq 100 and it sells out of the money covered calls on these stocks, collects premium, and these premiums is what you get as your dividends monthly. Now, if you know about covered calls and covered call strategy, then you can understand that this fund will not track Nasdaq 100 perfectly. It will lag behind Nasdaq, especially in the month when Nasdaq really jumps high. So you will see the beta on this fund is around 0.8. So you are getting around 80% of the upside. On the other hand, you are getting 80% of the downside. And in addition to that, you are getting almost 12% dividend yield. But one thing which is, I need to emphasize it because it will be relevant to one other fund which we will talk about. The yield is based on the price of JEPQ. They're not paying the same amount every single month. When JEPQ gets to $40 per share, your yield will be twice as that, so 24% yield on cost. So you have to remember about that, and if JEPQ drops, you will get less money because the value of JEPQ share is now less. The next position is SPYI. So this is NEO's S&P 500 High Income ETF, yield more than 12%. Take everything I just explained about JEPQ with the covered calls and Nasdaq. This is the same, except it's doing it for S&P and not Nasdaq. And they have one additional features. They're not only selling covered calls, but sometimes they are buying call options out of the money call options. And this allows the fund to boost its returns. So the returns on this fund is right now, I think, more than 12%, something like 12.4% yield every year. So just so you know. By the way, NEOS is a great company and they offer very good kind of basket of funds. So go check them out. They have a lot of these. The third position is not so widely known, so now listen carefully. It's called FSCO, closed-end fund. They're focused mostly on senior secured credit, mainly first lien loans to small, less visible companies that big lenders usually ignore. They pay consistently, they pay monthly dividends. The only drawback, the only thing that I don't really like about this fund is that it started operating in October 2022. So yeah, we don't have a lot of historical information about this fund and we don't know how it will behave in crisis. That's why you diversify and you don't have one position in your portfolio. By the way, Julia, my co-host, has a great article on FSCO when she breaks down everything, the strategy, what they are invested in, how they're getting the money, what are the chances everything is gonna crash and burn, and is it safe to put your money there. If you have Seeking Alpha account, the link in the description. If you don't have Seeking Alpha account, the affiliate link to Seeking Alpha membership in the description. If you're using our link, you are getting something like $30 discount for Seeking Alpha membership. You can take these $30 and put them into FSCO, for example. And the last position, number 4, is PFFA. PFFA is Virtus InfraCap US preferred stock. they invest in basket of preferred stocks. If you don't know what preferred stock is, well, come on guys, you have Google. Basically, preferred stock is the mix between stock and bond. It's like a stock, but they are paying dividends every month, quarter, semi-annually, yearly, whatever the company offers. But the preferred stock, why is it better than the regular stock or the common share? Because it's first in line to receive dividends. If the company goes bankrupt, it's first in line to kind of receive the proceedings of selling the company. So it's much safer than usual stock. Its current yield is 9.6%, but it has a very good history of paying out dividends. In 2020, they had to cut dividend by a little bit, but they did it once and they never did it again. And since then, the dividend is only growing. We have a good 7-year history of them paying out all the time. So this is one of the funds which I put my money in. If you are interested in these kind of videos, if you're interested of us breaking down more dividend-oriented stocks and for me to continue explaining about my portfolio, how I build it and what am I holding in it, please write as a comment. This way we will know that this content interests you and we will kind of make more videos about that. If you have any questions, again, that's what comment section is for, and that's what me and Julia are doing in our spare time, answering to all of your comments. Anyways, thank you very much for your attention. Thank you very much for your time. Please like this video. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and we will see you in the next video. Take care.